Hey everyone, my name is Tom Houpt. I'm a certified functional strength coach, and welcome to my first episode of my new podcast. It's called the Practical and Applicable Health Podcast, and my goal is to do just that. Cut through all of the noise in the fitness industry and bring you exactly what you need to know as an everyday person, the simple steps, not all of the sauna ice baths, doing an ice bath in the sauna while making sure your nutrient timing is on point, all of that crap. We're cutting it out. We're bringing it back to the basics here. Okay. I'm going to do episodes that are just me talking about a specific subject, and I'm going to bring on guests as well, experts, trainers, health practitioners, etc., so we can learn from them. So I've spent years in the fitness space. I've been a personal trainer, I've been a small group instructor, I've been a CrossFit coach, and most recently now I'm going online as a personal trainer, and I'm doing that through my business, Tom Houpt Functional Fitness. So I've struggled with low back pain for all my life, and I've been in working out since I was a freshman in high school. I've tried all sorts of different things. CrossFit, like I mentioned, calisthenics, bodybuilding. I've played a whole bunch of different sports, and I was always told if you exercise, then you're going to fix your low back pain. But that never really happened. I kept hearing crunches means a strong core, so I kept doing crunches, and then never really fixed it. I had a really good buddy of mine who became a certified functional strength coach, and I started following his program. And for the first time in my life, I didn't have low back pain anymore. Well, to be more specific, I had very little low back pain. I used to throw my back out when I would sit down on my mattress, or once I even threw it out playing a game of bingo. And it was this sudden realization that I didn't have this back pain anymore, where I realized I needed to figure out this method, if nothing else, then for my own sake, for my own knowledge, so I can coach myself like this. So, why do I coach and why am I doing this podcast? Well, I hold a deep belief that the health is the most important aspect of our life. It affects everything we do at all times. Without our health, we can't live life like we're supposed to. But with great health, with great fitness, with great sleep, with great nutrition, we're able to do anything that we want to do. Whether it's training for a fitness event, whether it's playing with your kids, whether it's playing with your grandkids even, or if it's just living a life that's pain-free, right? There's plenty of times where I've seen poor health affect individuals before. The most recent, my wife and I were in Hawaii. We were on the Big Island, and there was this great waterfall that we saw on TripAdvisor or something like that. So we drove around from Kona up to that waterfall, and obviously a beautiful place. But while we were in the parking lot parking our car, we saw people coming out of this hike. And to call it a hike, in my opinion, is a bit of a stretch. It's more like a nature walk. Everything was paved. There were some stairs and some inclines, but really it wasn't too difficult. And the total length of it was maybe three-quarters of a mile, or I don't know, a kilometer or whatever that is in metric. But I saw these people coming out of there and they were completely gassed. They were sweating, they were red in the face, they were bent over trying to catch their breath, all for what I consider to be a very easy and accessible, everyday, spontaneous adventure. And it's nothing against these people. We're all living life in our own ways. I'm not trying to downplay them or talk down to them by any means, but I'm just using this to paint an example. A small hike while you're on a road trip around the big island of Hawaii should be something easy and something that you can enjoy and be present in, not be a fitness challenge for you. So I want to help people become the best versions of themselves that they can. I want them to become as healthy as humanly possible and as practically as possible, right? I don't, I fully understand that life happens, that some nights we get crappy sleep. Your 2-year-old might be waking you up 3 times a night, or maybe you have your parents that you're taking care of and you're overly stressed and you can't get to the gym as often as you like to or you think you should. I want to be able to help all of you, no matter where you are in life or what's going on in life, just become just a little bit healthier or a whole lot healthier. There's so much noise and so much negativity and body dysmorphia and people talking shit about one another online. And it gets really hard to figure out what is actual applicable fitness advice for the everyday person, right? And personal trainers are a huge problem in this space as well. And some of them are I think, pretty poor, have poor character. I won't go too much into that, but they try to build themselves up by talking other people down. But by the nature of why we got into personal training or any sort of health training, whether that's a dietitian or whether that's a doctor, right? We all have this goal of trying to become smarter so that we can help you out as much as possible. But what happens is we lose sight, as these professionals, we lose sight of what the foundation is and what the fundamentals are. And so we end up inadvertently overcomplicating things for you, the everyday consumer of fitness information. And it's hard to take a step back because that's part of what we like doing and why we got into this is to learn more and learn new methods and learn more anatomy and learn whatever the hell else there is that's popping up, right? Obviously, nowadays it's saunas and ice baths. But all of that, as great as it is for someone's health, taking an ice bath 3 times a week is not nearly close to as important as just eating whole foods, sleeping well, drinking water, moving your body on a daily basis, and getting to the gym a couple times a week. It doesn't even need to get to the gym. If you enjoy Zumba and you want to do a YouTube Zumba class and that's how you prefer to get your exercise done, then fuck yeah, do Zumba. I don't, you see people talking shit about this group of ladies who are, banging on a yoga ball with sticks or with drumsticks, and they're, all of these terribly negative comments in there. But what I like to see is these ladies out having fun together, having community, being around other people, having a social life. As we get older, as we become adults, it gets harder and harder to spend time with your friends. And so finding opportunities like that to go and be around other people is just as important, in my opinion, as getting to the gym. So I've already been rambling for longer than I should. This was just supposed to be an intro podcast, and I got up on my intro to the podcast, and I got up on my soapbox. You can imagine that I'll probably do that a few more times in the coming episodes. So just to wrap it all up here, again, Tom Houpt, certified functional strength coach. My job is to cut through all of the noise for you so that you can apply the basics and the fundamentals of health and wellness and fitness to your own life without needing to go down a whole master's degree to figure out the right set scheme or how often you should go to the gym or the optimal type of exercise. So if this is something you're interested in, definitely follow along. We'll have some great people on here that we're going to interview. And, let me know if this is something that you're interested in hearing more of.